Ever been stumped by the never-ending love saga of God? Picture this, a love so vast, so deep, so infinite it could make the cosmos blush. This is the love that God has been dishing out to us. Now, The Witch is like God's own best-selling novel. In its action-packed book of John, chapter 3, verse 16, spills the beans. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. In simple words, God's a hopeless romantic. His love isn't just about all those butterflies in the stomach. It's about going that extra mile, even if it means selflessness and sacrifice. It's about giving without tracking the returns. It's about offering the most precious gift ever, his one and only Son, to provide us a VIP pass to eternal life. This sacrifice is a testament to a love that has no expiry date and no terms and conditions. It's a love that reaches out to us, even when we're as lost as a kid in a supermarket. Regardless of our blooper reel of flaws and failures, his love remains as steadfast as those gym freaks sticking to their diet plans. But what does this super deep love mean for us? It means that we're never stuck in the single status. It means that in the darkest of times, there's always a glimmer of hope. It's like having GPS. No matter how far off course we've gone, there is always a route back. And the impact of this love on humanity? It's like a life-changing makeover. It's the kind of love that changes hearts, transforms lives, and works better than any self-help book. It's the kind of love that heals, restores, and can beat any redemption arc in a movie. Each day we can soak in this love like sunbathing on a beach, drawing strength from its power. As we trek through life's rocky terrains, God's love is our constant travel buddy, our trusty compass. God's love us is so profound that he gave his only Son for our salvation. So as we read through the scriptures together, let's crack open our hearts to the infinite love of God. Let's wrap our arms around it, throw a party for it, and pass it around like a hot potato. Because this love, God's love, is up for grabs for all of us. Are you on a quest for a deeper understanding of your faith and spirituality, or just trying to avoid your in-laws on Sunday mornings? In life's journey, trust is as necessary as your morning coffee. Trust in God, particularly, is the cornerstone of faith. Not to mention it's easier than assembling an IKEA furniture without the manual. The scriptures teach us in Proverbs 3:5-6 to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths as straight as your grandma's knitting needles. But what does it mean to trust in God with all our heart? It's like relying on your GPS entirely, even when it tells you to take a left turn off a cliff. It's to acknowledge that our human understanding is as limited as the battery life on our smartphones, but his wisdom is like an infinite data plan. Imagine strolling through a labyrinth, a complex network of paths and passages. It's almost as confusing as your first day at the gym. But what if you had a guide? Someone who knows every twist and turn, every nook and cranny of that labyrinth. God is that guide. He's like a spiritual sat-nav. He sees the big picture and knows the best route for us, even when we're as lost as a vegan at a barbecue. Leaning not on our own understanding is a call to surrender. It's a gentle reminder that we don't have to bear the weight of the world on our shoulders. We don't have to be the Hulk. We're not alone in our struggles or our triumphs. Is there ready to guide us, if we let him? Surrendering to God's will doesn't mean giving up or becoming as passive as a goldfish. On the contrary, it's an active choice. It's like deciding to invite God to your next house party, to let his wisdom light up the floor. This surrender brings a profound peace. It's the kind of tranquility that comes from knowing you're not alone, that you're guided by a force greater than the fear of double text. Just as a river surrenders to the of the ocean, we too can find our way by submitting to the flow of God's love and wisdom. This surrender isn't a loss, it's a gain. It's like finding a hidden dollar in your old jeans. It's gaining a guide, a companion, a lighthouse in the fog of confusion, all without having to update your Facebook status. Submitting to God's will paves the way for a straight path in our life journey, or at least a less bumpy one. Do you feel the need for a sprinkle of divine goodness and a dollop of heavenly "hey, how you doing" in your life? This is a question that many of us juggle as we try to play hopscotch with the bewildering labyrinth of our existence, hoping for a timeout amidst the swirl. Let's leap into the deep end of God's grace, a phrase that translates to his unearned high five, his divine help handed out like free popcorn, even when we're acting like we belong at the back of the line. This grace is like a big bear hug of his love, a love that gives without expecting a return gift, a love on tap because of who God is. Now let's put on our philosopher caps and mull over Romans chapter 5, verse 8. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. This verse is like the secret recipe of God's grace and compassion. It announces a love so deep that God was prepared to play the ultimate sacrifice card, his one and only Son, even while we were busy being lost. This is a love that outstretches human understanding, a love that's not about keeping score but about grace. It's a love that sees us not as the cheeky rascals we are, but as the angels we could be. Love that will chase us down no matter how far we run. God's grace isn't a one-hit wonder tied solely to the cross. It's an ongoing highlight reel of his love, a fountain of compassion that keeps splashing us with goodness. Even when we trip and faceplant, his grace is like the friendly janitor, sweeping us off, dusting us down, and nudging us back on track. God's compassion, his readiness to share our burdens and joys, is another showing of his love. It's God tuning into our every high note and low, and sharing our applause, our victories, our fist bumps. It's God being our eternal +1, always, in every scene, in every plot twist. God's love is like his signature line, written in the language of grace and compassion, even amidst our blooper moments. This love isn't some elusive theory, but a living, laughing reality. It's a gentle nudge in our hearts, a lighthouse in our darkest nights. It's the beating heart of our faith, the bedrock of our spirituality, the pulse in our bond with the divine. What does it mean to experience God's love on a personal level? You might, well, does God send me chocolates and roses? Not quite, but close. Reflect on this mind-boggling thought. God, the creator of the universe, loves you. Yes, you. Not in some vague, cosmic, post-it note kind of way, but in a deeply personal and intimate manner. This concept is perfectly packed into the first letter of John, where it reads, "See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." And that is what we are. This passage is like finding out you're not just a player in the game, but you're actually on the VIP list. We're not just God's DIY projects, but his beloved children. It's like being loved by 1,000 golden retriever puppies, incomprehensible, overwhelming, and incredibly warm. Experiencing God's love on a personal level is about recognizing this divine kinship. It's about understanding that God's love for you isn't a tally of your good deeds, but his ceaseless grace. You are loved not because you've hit a cosmic home run, but because you're on his team. This love is constant as those embarrassing childhood photos your parents refuse to take down. It's a love that forgives, that heals, that offers a comforting hug. It's a love that catches you when you trip, even in the darkest corridors, flipping on a light and guiding you. This is the love of a father who gave his one and only Son for us, demonstrating his love that's off the charts. To experience God's love is to open your heart to this divine adoration, to let it mold you like Play-Doh from the inside out. It's about letting this love shape your thoughts, actions, and even your dance moves. It's about living each day knowing you're the apple of God's eye, his precious kid. So take a moment today to soak in this truth like a warm bubble bath. Let it seep into your heart, your soul, your very marrow. You are loved by God, not in a "we'll see each other at the family reunion" way, but as his treasured child. This love is not just a philosophical concept, but a reality you can feel every day, like your favorite cozy sweater. God's love is deeply personal, treating us as his cherished children. How can we connect with God's heart and score some serious points in the Cosmic Love League? Now that's a question that could make any spiritual guru ponder. Our buddy Matthew from the Gospel League slips us a secret. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. Wondering what it means to love God wholeheartedly? No, it's not akin to rooting for your favorite team in the Super Bowl. It's letting him become the captain of our life's ship, entrusting him with our hopes, dreams, fears, and even those embarrassing moments we all have. It's about acknowledging his boss status and surrendering to his game plan. This type of love isn't some sappy rom-com emotion. It's a choice, a decision to put God as our number one in the top charts of our lives. Now, embracing God's love doesn't mean we won't face any bumps or hiccups. Sometimes it may feel like we're trapped in a swirling tornado, but hey, even in a storm there's a calm center. And with God, that's a 24/7 hotline to peace. His love doesn't fluctuate like the stock market or depend on our performance report card. It's pure, unconditional, and everlasting, like the perfect pizza. To connect with God's heart and bask in His love, we need to establish those frequent heart-to-heart sessions with Him. It's about those tiny moments in our daily routines when we sit in His presence, listen to His heavenly, and let His love recharge us. As His children, we're called to be the love ambassadors, spreading His love around like confetti. And that means loving others unconditionally, just like the way He loves us. In a nutshell, embracing God's love is like an epic lifelong journey. It's a saga of growth, discovery, some serious spiritual transformation. It's like an adventurous quest that strengthens our spirit and gets us the VIP pass to God's heart. And so we come full circle to initial riddle: how can we connect with God's heart and embrace His love in our daily lives? The secret recipe is to love God wholeheartedly, nurture a personal bond with Him, and become the mirror that reflects His love in our world. Embracing God's love involves loving Him with all our heart, soul, and the brain cells that help us ace crossword puzzles. How does faith fit into the jigsaw puzzle of understanding God's gigantic affection for us? This question catapults us right into the epicenter of our spiritual journey, like a direct teleportation into a deep space voyage. Faith, essentially, is like the ultimate trust fall exercise, a colossal confidence in the end unproven. It's like betting on a horse that hasn't raced yet, but you just know it's going to win. Let's take a quick detour and flip open the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 6, where it states, "And without faith, it is impossible to please, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists, and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him." It's like saying, if you don't believe in the chef, you can't love the food. This scripture neatly wraps up the essence of faith in a tidy little package. It underlines the importance of believing in a cosmic power, acknowledging there's a celestial CEO at work in our lives. It's like believing in your favorite superhero, but even more powerful and real. Faith is not just nodding to the existence of God. It's like saying yes to a lavish, all-you-can-eat buffet of divine love, despite our rough edges and blunders. It's believing that He's our cheerleader, even we're on the losing team. It's about trusting that He's our GPS, guiding us, even when we feel like we've strayed into a maze. Faith is a journey, like an epic road trip that takes us deeper into the heart of God's love. It's a transformative adventure that changes us from the inside out, making us vessels of His love. It's like we're the coffee, and faith is the French press that brews the best within us. Without faith, we're like a ship without a compass, lost in vast ocean of life, or like me trying to find my way around a supermarket without a shopping list. So let's put on our spiritual backpacks and embark on the journey of faith. Let's believe in God's existence and His colossal love for us. Let's earnestly scout for Him, knowing that He will reward our sincere pursuit with a deeper understanding of His love. Faith, my friends, is our VIP pass to experiencing and understanding God's immense love for us. Join us on this faith-filled escapade. Think of it as a divine game of hide and seek, plunging headlong into scriptures and insights that spotlight God's love for His people. This is not a solo expedition, but rather a group tour, an exploration of the divine love that binds us all. It's a voyage into the deepest corners of the heart where faith and love reside and throw the occasional party. It's about understanding that God's love is not just a concept, but a transformative force that can change the course of our lives like a spiritual GPS. It's about realizing that His love is not just for the VIPs, but for all His children, whether you're from New York or Timbuktu. This journey is about seeking, questioning, and finding. Think of it as a spiritual treasure hunt. It's about peeling back the layers of our understanding like a heavenly onion to reveal the core of our faith. It's about pausing, reflecting, and taking the time to truly listen to the whisper of God's love in our lives. It's got better gossip than your nosy neighbor. Remember, this is a journey of the heart, and as such, it requires openness. Open your heart to receive the grace and hope that God offers, like a divine BOGO deal, and allow His love to transform your life. Let His love be the compass that guides you through the trials and tribulations of life, or as I like to call it, the divine GPS. Let it be the lighthouse in times of darkness, the chicken soup in times of sorrow, and the joy-filled piñata in times of happiness. Remember, this journey is not a destination, but a continual process of growth, learning, and transformation. It's lifelong learning with a divine twist. It's about becoming more attuned to God's love, like a heavenly radio station, more aware of His presence, and more devoted to His will. So, take that step. Put on your spiritual hiking boots and venture forth. Seek to understand and experience God's love. Keep an open heart and mind, and pack a sense of adventure. And as you embark on this voyage of discovery, remember this: the journey is just as important as the destination. It's not about the destination, but the divine detours. May your journey bring you closer to the heart of God and His boundless love, like a cosmic magnet. Broadcast this cosmic memo of God's affection. These words aren't just an invitation to a fancy ball, but a call to action so loud you'd think it's your alarm clock on a Monday morning. After this enlightening expedition into the heart of God's love, it's now your turn to share the glow. You know, like one of those good news is contagious things. Picture a world where everyone understands of God's love, a planet so full of warmth it feels like the eternal summer. We believe in this world, and it starts with you. Yes, you, right there, sipping your coffee and wondering if we're serious. We are. Sharing this video, you're not just passing along a link, you're sharing a message of hope, love, and grace. Think of it as sending the world's biggest group text, but instead of funny cat videos, it's all about love. When you share God's love, it's like extending the world's biggest group hug. It might just be a friend who's having a rough day, a family member who's questioning their faith, or even that barista who always seems to be seeking something more. When you God's love, you're planting a seed, and who knows? That seed might just sprout into a tree of faith, standing strong, even in the harshest winds of life. Kind of like that houseplant you've managed to keep alive despite all odds. God's love is a gift, not just to us, but to everyone we meet. So why keep it to ourselves? That would be like keeping a tray of freshly baked cookies to ourselves, and we all know that's just mean. Let's share this gift. Let's invite others to experience His love, His grace, and His promises. It's the ultimate party invite. Thanks for joining us today, and may God's love fill your heart and life like the joy you feel when you find an extra fry at the bottom of your takeaway bag.